All right, well, good evening, everybody. Mike is asking us to speak up a little bit louder than usual tonight because of some of the microphone issues. Virginia isn't here for some reason, so just whatever you have to say, try to raise your voice a little louder. Use your teacher voice if you have one, or whatever, instead of your normal voice that you would usually use. And welcome to the meeting of the Acton School Committee, and we welcome the Warrant and Finance Committee to joining us tonight as we take a look at our budget and our warrant articles. And we will begin our meeting tonight on March 11th at 5 o'clock with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any adjustments to our agenda?
There are no adjustments, but I would just like to let the audience know that we have a very brief school committee meeting. It should last about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then the chair will just sort of recess into having warrant and finance run their meeting, and then we'll close the school committee meeting after with the school committee.
Okay. Any comments from the public before we begin? All right, hearing none, then we will move on to number 3, which is the celebration of learning, and I'll let Mr. Ross explain to us what our celebration of learning is tonight.
You bet. I'm very excited to have Sally Puffer here with us tonight. Sally is also the person behind, with Lori, behind a lot of the videos you folks have seen in the public about the school. She's very creative and very good in the visual arts, but she's also a very, very good STEM teacher, a current GT Explore teacher. And we made a decision as a school district with the support of the school committee with the retirement of our computer teacher to develop, in place of a computer special, more of a science, technology, engineering, art, math program. Because if you think back when computer teacher was hired and when that was developed, we had a computer room, and they were all stand-up computers, and you had to go to the computer room to get the computer. Then we transitioned to mobile devices for some kids, and then mobile devices for all kids. Then we decided, why do we have a computer room? So we had the computer teacher then go to the classrooms because there was no longer a need for a classroom. Hence the retirement of the computer teacher. It was a good chance to take a look at what we're doing and look to the future and use that same resource as a special within the special budget and develop a program called STEM or STEAM. And Sally's here tonight to talk about that. The budget supports this program. It's already in place. And I just think it's a great opportunity for all of you folks from the community as well as the school committee to see what some of our plans are. Now remember, we started at the 30,000 foot level. I'd say we're at about the 10,000 foot level, but now over the summer, moving forward, we'll start putting together scope and sequence curriculum activities. So tonight you'll get the 10,000 foot level. How's that sound from Sally? I'm going to get out of the way. Judy can either shuffle here or go there, and I'm going to turn it over to Sally Puffer, and I'll give her a hand with anything that she might need help with along the way.
Oh, thank you. So to start, you kind of got the gist of it already, but Explore and Computer are going to morph into STEAM. And the focus is going to be on communication, collaboration, and critical thinking, as well as creativity, the 4 C's, which is kind of a big push in 21st century learning anyway, but specifically for a STEAM program. They're really pushing that. The jobs that our kids are going to have might not even exist, is the whole theory behind that. So if they have those 4 C's, they'll be able to do whatever comes their way. So it's a way to introduce new topics. They'll be interconnected and will have prior knowledge applied to them. It will be held during the specials block, which I know will make a lot of teachers happy because they like to have their kids when they're supposed to and there's not as much shuffling around. And Explore or GT will be embedded within the STEAM block. So those students that still need to be pushed will be able to do so, but it will be within the STEAM block. So the curriculum, again, this is a pilot program and we're at the 10,000 level. So this can change, but the basis of it's going to be computer science, and it will talk about how do computers work, how do we control them, and this has the potential to incorporate a program we're already using, PLTW. So that would be really beneficial. The next section would be coding, and that's JavaScript and Python as a written code language. So a lot of the kids I see now for coding are doing Blockly. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's basically like moving blocks, and then that's how they're coding. And I really think, especially 6th, 7th, and 8th, I should see like that hacker code where like you look at it and you're like, what is that? And it just seems a little elementary, so I'd like to be able to elevate that. They'll do a lot of problem solving through programming as well. We're hoping to do a 3D design, 3D printing program, and how that technology works, and also how is that being used in the real world. And finally, engineering. So we'll have a bunch of different build challenges throughout the year using different manipulatives. And that will go with the design process that they're already using in their science classes. So I'm also, I might be the most excited about this one piece right here. It's the C-Perch program. I don't know if anybody in here is familiar with it, but ROV stands for Remote Operated Vehicle. And it's this right here. And the kids actually will build this, and they get to use some minor hand tools with it. And I'm just watching now.
Is this gonna break? Can I
No,
pass it
you
around?
can take- yeah,
Can I
you
show people?
absolutely can,
You
yeah.
keep talking, I'll
I
show 'em.
didn't, the battery's not on that if you want the battery to control.
I
it.
don't want Roland to
Okay.
take off with it and go through the
just
ceiling.
checking. So they'll be able to kind of mess around with how to make things float and sink and understand buoyancy. And it's an outreach program from the shipyard, which I always think is great to get the kids thinking about that as a potential option for careers. And I've put a list up here of all the things that it touches on, so they get to build their own circuit board, and that includes soldering. They'll use basic power tools, which I already mentioned. There's a lot of technical reading with the instruction pamphlet, which I think is sometimes underestimated, the ability to read something and figure out, okay, that's talking about this, and this is how I need to put that together. They get to do some motor wiring, microcontrols, relays with electricity. Again, they're going to test and experiment with buoyancy and ballasting. And this can be tied to local community things. Maybe we go down to the lake and you try to mess around with removing any type of debris or pollution that's on the lake. You could map the lake floor with topography. And John and I had talked about maybe like hooking up a GoPro just to see, like, why not? Why not hook up a GoPro? And this is also something that could provide links to career opportunities. And lastly, it is the intent that STEAM will allow students to apply learning in a hands-on manner that will develop concepts and create connections with prior and new knowledge in concrete real-world applications. So, and that's it. Yes.
All right, so you said that C-Perch basically comes out of the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard?
Yes.
So is there someone you can contact?
There is. I'm married to him.
Oh.
Yes. I'm sorry, I missed that
Would
last part.
it be free?
Yes,
Sir.
yes, so they will supply these, and then they also apply a mentor, which would be my husband, and he's been through a certain class that kind of led them through that questions and procedures. And so it is free, and the kids get to keep the submarine. So with COVID, they're doing 1-to-1, but when that goes away, or when it wasn't here, it was about 2 to 3 kids per submarine. So,
Now, the parts and everything are free, or?
yes,
Can you
and
bring it?
actually I have a ton of it at my house right now. But they also send toolkits, and it's one of those things, like, you see all the stuff and you feel like if I was a kid, I'd be like, wow, all that stuff is for me. So it's kind of impressive in that way. But so the tools are borrowed and those have to be returned. But the submarine and all the pieces that go to it are ours to keep.
Very cool, I love this idea.
Yeah, I think it would. It's always neat when you can have kids do something that is unexpected, I think. And it gives the kids that maybe don't shine with reading or math those type of kids can have that aha moment, and it's always the best when those kids are the kids that always do well in math and reading are asking the other kid, like, what, how'd you do that? So everybody can shine. All right, thank you.
Anybody have any questions? Any questions or comments from anybody else about the program?
As long as you don't create hackers, like you said.
The whole idea is to find out who the hackers are and then hire them.
There you go.
Right,
There
so we need
you
them
go.
on our side.
Check them out.
Yeah,
So,
no
thank
hackers.
you. All right, well, thank you very much, Mrs.
you.
Puffer. Really appreciate it.
Very exciting.
It's gonna be a fun year with us next year.
Okay then. All right, let's move right along then to number 4, and I will look for a motion to accept our consent agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Mary, seconded by Jeanette. All in favor? Okay, now going back to that consent agenda under number 5. Do any of you have any questions about any of the administrators' reports that were given in number 4?
This, Mike, you said T2 has been pushed out to March 19th. What is T2?
Trimester 2,
What?
second trimester?
Oh, that's all that meant?
Yeah. That's all that matters.
Grading.
Sorry,
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
Grading and
Report
attendance.
cards. Yeah.
Got it. I'm like, wow, it must be something technical.
Coming from
T.
him.
Yeah.
See, she went T, technology, Mike must have
Yeah,
some.
I was asleep. Must be a new program.
Anybody else have any questions for any of the administrators? Then, do you want to do anything on your report?
I just have 2 very brief things from the school committee and the community that we're finally back into doing field trips. As you saw in my update, we took the 5th grade on their annual 5th grade ski trip to King Pine. Lori and Sharon took a group on Friday, which was the white group, scheduled group, and I took the blue scheduled group on Monday. We have to do it twice when they split like that. Great day for all, and the whole thing was challenge, try something new, because they're in middle school next year. And they're getting bigger, and they're getting older, and they gotta get ready for something new, because next year is gonna be very new for them. So, looking forward down the road to opening up outdoor type field trips, because we can do them safely, number 1. Number 2, our second round of intramurals started. And the month of March, we'll be here every night but Wednesday running intramurals, and there was 28 kids here just a little while ago. So that's going really well. So we've moved into a place where we're really trying to keep the kids very active, and we can do it safely. And that's all I have for tonight.
Okay. I just wanted to check with Lori, is that on the school website, that video that you just, the board just received?
Yes.
The wrapping one.
Yeah, the wrapping one.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance to go on the Acton Elementary School website, look at the video of, the pictures in the video are of the kids on their ski trips. But the rap that's going on is one that was written, as I understand it, by the music teacher, correct? And was done with the kindergarten kids and some help from some of the other teachers or whatever, some of the staff members. So it's really cute. So if you get a chance to go on the website, look at it, and you'll see that they're learning their ABCs with a rap at the same time, but you're also seeing the kids having a good time on the ski trip. So if you get a chance to see that, I highly recommend it. It was really, really cool.
Very cute.
Okay, so let's go on now to number 6. Do we have anything under progress monitoring?
No, we don't, due to budget.
Okay, so number 7, anything from the long-range planning committee tonight?
No.
No? Okay. Policy committee has one second read on GBCD, which is the family medical leave. We looked at this prior to this, and this is the second reading, which means with the second reading, we'll be adopting it.
Yep.
So, Jeanette, would you like to make a motion that we, in the policy committee, accept the second read of GBCD, family and medical leave?
Yep, so said. Second read, GBCD, family and medical leave. This is the second read, and that's when we'll pass it, I hope.
I'll second it.
Okay, Mary seconded.
CJ seconded it.
See, yeah, so did Amanda, so we got to.
Mary spoke up, so there we go.
Let's speak loudly.
So then, any further discussion on that policy? If not, all in favor? 5-0, and so moved, and now that policy becomes adopted. That's all today. All right, we're going to move on now to new business, and under new business comes our warrant article vote. This is it right here, right? As you know, we've are doing a written ballot again this year, and as many school districts are doing again this year due to COVID. Probably this will be the last year that we'll do it this way. But it's something that the state has allowed and passed on down to us to take this process. So we'll be doing a warrant, a referendum on our warrant on April 27th at the town hall. And we're going to start with article number 3. The others don't really pertain to us, right? So I think probably most of you from the Warrant and Finance Committee have received this, and what they have done is to consolidate the articles. And it's been written by Drummond and Whitson, who have also written this exact same article for several other school districts, which are taking the same path that we're taking this year with our budget. And we'll talk some more about it after we do the vote. All right? So Article 3, shall the town appropriate the sum of $5,593,665 and raise the sum of $4,004,971 for the 21-22 school budget. The town of Acton school budget submitted in Article 3 totals $5,593,665. It includes locally raised funds in the amount of $4,406,971 to be assessed to the town taxpayers in accordance with state law. The locally raised amount exceeds the state's essential programs and services funding model by $1,200,219. This budget includes the following cost centers. Regular instruction, $2,610,176. Special education, $1,063,323. Career and technical education, 0. That's for high school. Other instruction, $58,450. Student and staff support, $568,101. System administration, $228,633. School administration, $143,632. Transportation and buses, $309,000. Facilities and maintenance, $464,601. Debt service and other commitments, 0. All other expenditures, $147,749, which totals the budget at $5,593,665. And I will look for a motion from the school committee to accept the recommendation, to make a recommendation?
I'll make a motion to accept the school committee's no, I guess I can't say that. I make a motion to accept the Article 3 as written.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of Article 3? Article 4, shall the school committee be authorized to expend such other sums as may be received from federal or state grants or programs or other sources during the fiscal year for school purposes, provided that such grants, programs, and other services do not require the expenditure of other funds not previously appropriated. I'll look for a motion on Article 4.
I'll make a motion to accept Article 4 as written.
I'll second.
You make a motion that that the school committee recommends a yes vote, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I'll second.
And seconded by CJ. Any further discussion? All those in favor? So moved. Article 5, to see if the town of Acton will appropriate the receipt of certain federal and state grants and carry any previous balances for all grant revenue accounts.
I'll make a motion to say yes. What do you want?
You
I
can
never
read,
did
you
it.
can read the
Just
school
read it.
committee
School committee.
recommends to appropriate the receipt of federal, you can read it right off there as the motion.
Yeah.
On Article 5.
I'll make a motion to see if the town of Acton will appropriate the receipt of certain federal and state grants and carry any previous balances for all grant revenue accounts. Yeah.
That we accept that, that's what you're saying, right? A yes vote.
Yes.
Okay. Second, anybody? Anybody dare to second that one?
You never had that.
Normally, you just say accept the article.
As
I
written.
make a motion to accept Article B.
As written.
Well, that's what I did the first time, so.
All those in favor?
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll end that,
5
right.
yeses.
Who
Okay.
seconded that?
Me.
Thank you, Amanda.
Nobody did.
Article
I did.
5, to see if the town of Acton will appropriate the receipt of certain federal and state grants and carry any previous balances for all grant revenues accounts.
Just did that.
Just did-
No, we need to do
Wait a minute,
6.
we're on 6, I
Oh,
thought.
we're on 6?
Yeah.
You threw me all off in that.
Too many words.
Article 6, to see if the town of Acton will vote to raise and appropriate the following revenues, balances carried, and fund transfers to fund the food service budget in addition to amounts raised by taxation for food services in the school operating budget. School nutrition revenues, $80,000.
I'll make a motion to accept the article as written.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the article as
I
written.
shouldn't have wrote all this stuff underneath.
I didn't write it.
Not my bad. You can't do two things at once.
All those in
Yes and
favor?
no.
Oh,
It
yes.
just says
The
yes
school
or
committee
no.
needs to learn to multitask, I guess. That's what we need to do.
I don't think there should have been anything after school committee recommends. Shouldn't have said a yes vote.
Well, I think this was written by Drummond and Woodson, not by us, so that's why.
Yes.
But you don't have a choice to say no.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, it says yes or no.
Where?
For the warrant and finance.
Well, yes, but this is our budget that we're presenting. We've already approved all of these cost centers, so this is our budget, so of course we would say yes.
I know, the school committee recommends yes. I mean, that sounds kind of weird, no?
Okay.
I don't know. That's what drew me.
All right.
What do you think?
I just have a question for the selectmen. Are we going to be discussing Article 2 somewhere in the town, or how's that going to go?
Yes, we're planning on having a
Public,
public meeting.
okay.
A Zoom public hearing.
With any other public meetings and out like that.
And we will also be putting out the budget booklets which explain all of these cost centers.
We'll have electronic versions on the school website and the town website, so they'll have them on both.
So there'll be electronic versions on both the school website and the town website, and there will also be printed booklets of the budget that will be available at the town hall and some other the post office and some other local places. Wherever we can find a place to stick some of them, we will. And there'll be some available here at the school as well. Did you want to say something?
Sure. As most people know, the budget is very transparent, and the budget book has every line item in the school budget that gets you to that $5 million. Preempting that, at the front will be a letter from me suggesting how we used federal grants over the last year. We had some significant funds make it to Acton, and we spent those funds, and it's on me to tell you how that's going to save the town over a decade in investments that we've made in infrastructure and transportation. So that isn't in this budget, but that's an explanation of what we did in the last year with federal funds, as well as any kind of tax relief we may be able to provide to the community due to the fact that this last year that we were living in during the COVID year, we didn't spend as much the last 3 months as we had planned. When we're not spending as much, that means we have more left over, which goes back in towards what we would call, what I would normally call carryover, but we call considered undesignated funds. We went over this at our last meeting. Dave Winchell was there. So that's not really part of tonight's discussion, but that'll be all there for the voters to see when they vote on the question.
I just have a problem with Article 3 not really stating the breakdown that Kim had given me that shows the EPS state subsidy is $356,694, nutrition is $80,000, and we plan to carry forward the $750,000.
Which will be in the budget book.
Right, but it's not right here where the person is voting. So say you don't pick up the budget book, and then you see I'm voting on almost 6 million. And, you know, if people are keeping track, we try to keep everything at about 5 million. So it looks like we're over that. And so we don't have anything right here where you're voting to show that it's real, our budget is really, and I know it's right there in the first sentence, the budget, we're raising the sum of 4,406,000. So, yeah, circle that or something, I don't know.
We got it. Okay.
It's just that when you turn the page and see the chart, you know, the total amount expended, yeah,
It's just presented differently this year than it's normally presented is what you're getting to.
kind of.
Still less than last year's budget.
It's less than last year's budget, and I'm happy that we're able to turn back a considerably much larger amount of money to the town than we've been able to do in the past for tax relief purposes, so. Anything else on the budget? If not, then I'll recess the school committee meeting. We'll exchange places with the warrant finance committee, and we'll be ready to answer any questions. When I say we, I usually mean Kim. That you may have on the budget.
Thank you, Acton team that was here tonight for the budget piece. Appreciate it.